Hello, Flosstube. Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches here with my floss. Stalling out, my brain is not functioning. My Flosstube update number 400. I think it's 415. Yes, 415. Today is Saturday, December 13th. Let me see. Yes, the 13th. Um, and we're halfway through the month. Um, Christmas is coming. Calling. Sorry, I just noticed my neck looked horrible. Um, Christmas is coming up quickly. We have my aunt's coming in from out of town, and my niece as well. And as a matter of fact, they're coming in on the same day, but like very far apart. So we couldn't consolidate the airport trips to one. My younger sister is going in the morning to pick up her daughter, and we're going in the evening to pick up my aunt. So, um, but that's like about 10 days away. So we're actually trying to fix up this room a little bit more. We done some minor fixes. If you notice that the drawer unit back here is no longer like leaning like a drunken sailor, I I found a hex screw thing to tighten up the legs on it so it's not wobbling anymore. Um, but we've just kind of been just like, oh, that goes in the craft room. Oh, that goes in the craft room, and it's a little disorganized because we don't have all the furniture that we want to have in here yet. Part of it is some of it's in storage, and other things are just things we haven't gotten around to yet. We're deciding, will we have room in here for like maybe another shelf unit, or are we going to do something different with the way the closets in this house are difficult to work with because they have like an upper they have like an upper shelf and bar and a lower shelf and bar and then one sort of halfway, but the upper shelf up here is like so tall. um, you know my sister and I are neither of us are very tall. My sister's very short. I'm like 5'2", and Eve is a little shorter than that. And so this upper shelf in the closet is really too high. It's too high for the shelf to be useful for anything but stuff you're never going to touch, and that's possible to put up there. But the hanging bar, even that's a little high to use. If I were like maybe 6 inches taller, that upper bar would be workable. And this is in my bedroom closet as well. It's I really haven't hung anything from the very tallest bar because I you know in our other house the upper had an upper shelf, also an upper rod, and it was lower than this one, and even it was a little hard for me to reach sometimes. But this one is so far up. Anyway, so we're I'm trying to think, would it be possible to do something different in there? How are we going to configure it? What units are we going to put in there? Whatever. Like this unit here, this drawer unit could possibly go in the closet. We have another one just like it that's in storage right now. But if the two of them were in the closet, they sort of make a little sort of shelf on top. You can put stuff on top of them, but they take up that closet space, and there's other things that we need to go in there. And so we're still trying to decide. Shelf units. Do we have room for them? We want to put a couch in here, for not only for comfortable seating, but also like for to use this as a guest room. Somebody could sleep on that couch. And as a matter of fact, Eve is going to be sleeping in here when my aunt comes to visit, because my aunt's going to sleep in Eve's bed and Eve's going to sleep in here. But of course, we don't have the the couch that we're going to put in here. It's in the storage unit, in the back of the storage unit, and so she's probably going to sleep on the floor, um, maybe on an air mattress, I think, on the floor. But so anyway, we had to sort of clear up some space for her to be able to stay in here for a few days while my aunt's visiting. Anyway, but right now it's kind of a junk room. Um, So we're just sticking all the craft stuff in here that we come across as we're unpacking little by little. And so it's a little disorganized right now. But I got the shelf straightened up. Anyway, um, so I don't even remember why I was saying all that. Just that we're still working on getting this configured the way we want to. In the meantime, I've been stitching. I have an FFO. Um, uh, I don't have any other finishes yet. Though I think one of the things I'm gonna one of the things on my WIPGO chart that's coming up. I might, if I'm diligent, may be able to start and finish it. Before the month is over. It depends because like there's some all the holiday festivity kind of things and relatives coming from out of town and um, I don't know what the our schedule is going to be like, but I've got basically the second half of the month, right, to work on things, and so I may get more of my WIPGO stitching done. My WIPGO projects for this month, I have a 2024 Prairie Schooler Santa. I'm not going to pull it out because I just haven't started yet, but it's one of my new starts, so I don't have to do very much on it. I just start it, and I am at this point. I don't remember which one it is, but anyway, I'm just gonna do that. I'm not gonna worry about that because if I can get in one day on it, it's fine. Um, I've already started the Blue Penguins, which is my other new start. I did a little bit of that, and I may do, if I have time, I may do more on it. But one thing I have not done is one of my WIPGO actual projects is the up on the rooftop stocking. I did they're two little bitty stockings. They're about this big. They're ornaments, basically Christmas ornaments. So there's three of them total, and I've done two of them before. And so the third one, uh, it's like Santa going down the chimney. The it's a little mini stocking. And the other two I was able to do pretty quickly. So this one, it's a little bit more stitching because of the bricks in the chimney or whatever. But and I think there's a Santa, and think I don't know. Anyway, but so that may take a little bit longer, but it shouldn't take more than a few days, a couple days, a few days. But the other new start for that is the Twin Peak Primitives Quirky Christmas. I did Nicholas was the one I did I think earlier this year, and I have on here. I have in my notes what I was going to start um, is it's called Gonks. They're basically like what we would call Christmas gnomes, I guess. But there's a couple of other patterns in there I might choose. I don't know. It just depends on how much time I have left. Um, but so the other two actual WIPCO projects are the Cottage Garden Samplings Reindeer and Blue Flower Festive Forest, and those are the two that I'm going to be starting on Festive Forest starting today, and work on that for 7 days. And the reindeer, I just finished. Actually, did probably a little bit more than 7 days because yesterday was the seventh day, and I worked on a little bit this morning because I wanted to get the end point, and then I did an FFO yesterday also. So I want to talk about those. I worked on the reindeer because I did the FFO. It took me a while to do it because it's been such a long time actually since I've done an FFO that I was sort of like out of practice, and then all of my stuff is scattered around, and try to decide how I'm going to do this, and halfway through, I changed my mind, and only I didn't tell part of my brain that I guess. Anyway, um, but so before I did that though, I've been working on the reindeer Cottage Garden Samplings, the reindeer. I just love this pattern. Those big antlers, and this big pretty reindeer. So, um, I have a lot of this done. Probably next time I work on it, I can finish it. Um, this lighter color on his body, I have not done. I've done a little bit of it here, and I've done some on his legs. His face is done. I finished the neck. I finished all the little details on the antlers and all the snow up here, the little snowflake drops up here. What I have left is this uh, plant and the snow underneath it, and then finishing up the legs and the body, especially the back legs and the tail of the deer here. Mostly this lighter color. There's a I think it's the lighter color that is a the fancy floss bright leaf, and then there's another DMC color in here that I haven't done yet, um, and but other than that, most of the deer is done, and then I have this big plant thing, uh, and there wasn't kind of I it would have taken a lot of sort of weird counting and stuff to get to the point where I could start it, and I wasn't in the I didn't have the brain power to do that. But so I worked on it. Ooh, my needle minders are sticking together here. Um, so let me get it pulled up here. Yeah. So this is what I worked on. So you can see his the middle of his body and his haunch back there are going to be that orangey bright leaf color, and then the plant that goes underneath his feet. But like I had to fill in his legs. So there's one DMC color that goes here on this leg, but like this blackish, it's like 37.99. That dark, almost black DMC color. On his hooves and the black on his the dark color on his legs and his underbelly, and down here, and then this little stripe on his haunch is this darkest. It's a dark brown color throughout there. But I did finish all there's some like light color detail on the top of the antlers, and that's all done. And his face is all done. There was a couple of like spaces that were not stitched yet on his face when I picked it up, and then all of this white on his neck and all the gray there. All that's all done. And I started to do part of these little design things on there. And so like these little dots are all the center stitches of it's this pattern basically. There's like um, a color that surrounds each of those squares, and then that bright leaf color fills in the rest of the those empty spaces. So he's almost done. I these patterns are from what 2022 I think. Um, yeah, 2022 is 2025. So yeah, and of course, the Cottage Garden Sampling is coming out with their new Year in the Woods 2, and I know the third. I mean the most recent one just came out. My sister was telling me about it, and I can't remember what it was. It's a it's a bird I think in flight. So yeah, that sounds really interesting. So I don't know when I'm gonna. I want to start buying them, but probably not till maybe sometime next year. But anyway, there's that. And so my next project, starting today, probably actually, is going to be Festive Forest, and this is by the Blue Flower. This is on. I want to say it's on 32 count uh, linen that was dyed by me with this blue color. It's kind of watered up because it's been in my project bag, but so I really just started on it, and I had not gotten very far on this because partly because I was debating whether or not to order flosses for it, because it calls for Roxy floss and Cottage Garden threads, which are a little harder to find for me anyway. But this is what it's going to look like. And I was saying during the uh, Jingle Ball that my one claim to fame is that I was the one that coined the term muffin for this shape, and I was surprised to hear what I had the Biscornu class with Blue Flower during Jingle Ball, the Western Woods Biscornu, and oh yeah, I wanted to show a little bit of that. I worked on it a little bit after the Jingle Ball, um, but but during that class, she kept referring to this shape as the muffin, and I was like, I gave up with that because when we were talking about it last year during the class, she was like, I don't know what you would call that shape, and I said, to me it looks like a muffin, and so we started calling it that in the class. We started referring to it as a muffin. But she has I think she has one other like this that she had already published a pattern for, and then one that she's working on right now, I think, and maybe I think one other one in the planning stage or something like that. So yeah, this is a very popular thing, and it looks like this when you stitch it, laid out before you put it together. So you make these little peaks, and then you join them all together to make this little muffin shape. But anyway, so I barely started on this one, so I'm going to work on it now because I did order all the I think I have all the Roxy flosses now, and I recently ordered all the remaining Cottage Garden threads. Um, so yeah, so Festive Forest is the next one I'm going to be working on, and hopefully I'll get more because I know part of this, like some of the insides of these flowers and things like that. Some of the part of it was those Cottage Garden threads, um, colors, and so now I've got them all, I should be able to just make some good progress on this if I have my wits about me. Um, I did want to talk about part of Western Woods Biscornu. Excuse me, I've got to move stuff around here. I've got to major so I don't cause a crapalanche. Um, Let me find Western Woods Biscornu. Yeah, I did do a little bit of it because I don't know if I talked about it last week. I think I might have that I found a mistake that I had made because I was working on the border. There's a border around it, and then there's a backstitch line around the border, and because the backstitch line is where you put it together. So, but it has this border around it, and so I had stitched the corner branches coming in like they had come in diagonally from the corners, and I had done three of them, and I thought, what if I miscounted? What if they're wrong? Because they're very convoluted and very complicated, and you have to leave spaces and stuff because of all the animals and things that are in there, right? Anyway, so I started working on it, and I kind of got scared that I made a mistake with some of these branches, and so I started doing the border around it, and I found that yeah, the one branch is one stitch off, and so I thought I gotta fudge that because I'm not gonna undo it. And oh, sorry, I'm not gonna undo it and do it all again. I'm not gonna take it all out. So so while I was jingle balling Saturday night, I was working on with the Feliz Navidad group. Um, I was working on it, trying to see if I could fudge it to make it work. And one of the so I put this other branch. There's another tree that goes right here, so I put that in, and I put this cardinal in because the cardinal is one of the that's the figures that's affected by this branch being in the wrong place. So I stitched a few stitches in here to make it meet the corner, and then I did the cardinal, and I made it line up with this part, and its legs. I thought, well, I could just just stitch his legs like one stitch longer to make them hit right. but I couldn't because this is in the right place. And so the cardinal's legs were not going to just be like in the pattern, they're just straight diagonal lines, right? So I had to put a little kink in his legs to make him fit there. So he's got crooked legs, but birds have crooked legs. So anyway, so he's sort of fitting in there. And the other, I since I had some of that some thread out, I went ahead and this is the face of there's an owl right here. So anyway, so I put the cardinal in with his crooked legs, and then I just did the face of the owl here. So I've done a little bit more on that. Uh, and did I have the pattern? Did I show you the pattern? Anyway, you've seen it. It's a Biscornu. It's big. Anyway, but so yeah, so I did a little bit more on the Western Woods Biscornu Saturday night, and then that I was working on the reindeer. Um, so I am going to show now my FFO, and this is the Fox Globe. This is by Tiny Modernist. And apparently, I guess I didn't realize I probably knew this at some point, but it's been such a long time I've forgotten. But I think she has done a few of these. I think maybe three at least. The fox, and somebody showed at the Jingle Ball, or maybe not the Jingle Ball. No, it was a Flosstube I was watching. That somebody showed another one of these that she'd done that had like I think a snowman, but it's the same snow globe design, like with this little bow on top and I don't know if the base is the same or not, but anyway, it has a little different, like a snowman, I think, or figure in there in the middle of it. But otherwise the snow globe idea is the same. So this one is Fox, and this one came out I think last year at the Jingle Ball. So I don't know if the others are continuing that series or whatever. But this is a free pattern, so I don't know if the others are free or not, but this one was free. Anyway, so I did finish stitching it, and I FFO'd it. So it's on this little plaque. It's been such a long time since I laced something. I had trouble with this, and also with I sort of just made a little template with to use to cut the mat board out. So it's a little lumpy here and there. Um, but yeah, but I laced it and then I glued it on this little board. And actually, so my saga with this is I was gonna make an ornament out of this, and so I was gonna cut this shape and put interfacing on it, and then cut this shape with a piece of regular like backing fabric, red fabric, and put interfacing on that, and then sandwich the two of them together. And then I was going to put rickrack around the outside and then a little hanger on there. And so it make it a little ornament. But then when I was we had to run some errands and we had to go to Walmart. And when I was at Walmart, I saw this little shape and I thought, oh, this is really great. This would be great. And so I decided, I'll put it on this shape. And so I painted this. I didn't paint the back, but I painted the front. Um, and but while I was doing this, without thinking, because originally I thought, oh, I'll cut out some red like to back this behind it, right? But then when I put it on, when I held it up here, I thought, well, that's not really big enough. If I put another piece of fabric or whatever, it's going to be too big to go on here. Um, wouldn't fit properly well. So I thought I'll just put it like this. But I had already cut like a piece of fabric this shape. So yeah, there it is. But anyway, so yeah, so then and my sister had some ribbon that I used to just make this little bow to go to top. But anyway, yeah, that's cute. And you could just lean it against a shelf or something like that. A little stand up, or you could buy one of those little what do you call it? Little display little stand things. But anyway, that's the Fox Snow Globe. I finished it. There's that. So that's all the stitching that I have, but I have a lot of haul. Um, I showed some of it, some of my Jingle Ball haul because I was gonna I bought it all Friday night as soon as the shopping hall opened, but my printer was acting up, and so I couldn't print it all off last week Saturday morning before I did my update. So I was fighting with my printer. So anyway, so I have this pile, and part of it is some of it is stuff that I got I think before the Jingle Ball, but I was counting all the things I printed from the Jingle Ball, and so counting both the complimentary freebie things and the ones I purchased. I have a total of 18 new patterns. So about seven of them I think I showed you last week. Um, uh, but anyway, so I have this pile here that was from last week, and I have a pile of new things that I finished printing off, and then I think I bought one more that I had not bought um, Friday night. I went back and bought it um, Saturday morning. So I bought the Jingle Ball Bauble book, um, and because I had not decided, do I want them all? Can I wait? Because they'll in a year they'll be released individually or whatever. But I thought, I'm just gonna go ahead and buy the book. So there's 12 designs and it's, 20 bucks. It's not really that expensive. Um, so I didn't print off the whole Bobble book again because it's many pages. Um, but this is the cover. Little round Santa, so cute. I think that's a hand done design. Um, but these are the designs, and that's Santa. That makes 12. Yeah, because this is just the Jingle Ball logo thing. But this Santa, yeah, the Santa round thing, and these are the little ornaments. There's this one says Jesus is the reason. This is a little either you could make two separate ornaments or you could make a two-sided ornament that says "Let it snow" on one side, and there's a little series like little houses and snowflakes here. This one, you can't see it very well in this picture, but it's a peacock. And this is a blue flower one, I think, but it's a peacock, but it's an albino peacock. And so there's like I think its feathers are kind of the little eyes on the feathers are kind of pink, but the peacock itself is white. I would probably choose a little bit darker fabric just to make it show up a little better. And this right here is it's a reindeer, I think, pulling the sleigh. And this is a tall house and some trees. This is really interesting. This is from I think Hello from Liz Matthews, and these little they're little peppermint like peppermint candy kind of things that you stitch the actual candy, the peppermint thing, and then this is just for to display it. She put the little cellophane wrapping on it like they're pieces of candy. And this one says, if I can read it, if I don't have my glasses on, that would help a lot. I have my glasses here somewhere. Hold on 1 second while I find what I did with my glasses. I brought them in here on purpose so that I would have them, and then I promptly forgot them. I thought I brought them here. Hold on 1 second while I look for my glasses. Okay, now I can see what I'm doing. Um, so I was looking at the ornament. It says, "Meet me under the mistletoe." This is this one up here. There's a little piece of mistletoe and some leaves and berries. And then up here, there's a cute little snowman. And this is a swan, a pink swan. And then this little truck being driven by a kitty. with a tree and some presents. It's a very cute little ornaments. So there's that. And then there's this one. This is a tiny modernist design. These I did print these off, so I have to. I didn't. I got my box of paper clips to separate these, and I'll do that later. But I didn't have time to do that this morning after I found the paper clips. But this is a nativity scene by Tiny Modernist. Very colorful, very cute. Done on black fabric. I don't know if I'm going to do that. I probably will, maybe, or at least dark fabric. But yeah, so a very nice, very cute nativity scene. Excuse me 1 second. My phone is making a clunky noise. Somehow I did not prepare myself for everything. Didn't follow all my usual steps. 1 second. Okay. Anyway, so there's the nativity scene by Tiny Modernist. Then put my pile up here. This is also Tiny Modernist. This is, I think my sister might have gotten this pattern already, but I don't know. I'm going to turn it this way. But this is called Holiday Wreath, I think. Woodsy Wreath. Woodsy Wreath. There's a little cabin and trees and leaves around it. And I think that was a complimentary one. I'm not sure. Yeah. And this is also Tiny Modernist. This is called Scandi Winter Animals. And it's a cute little... There's a reindeer and a polar bear and a bunny and a fox and an owl and all the trees. Yeah. And this is an older design by Heartstring Samplery. It's from 2010. So I don't know if this was, this is a freebie at the Jingle Ball, or if this is just one that she had for sale that I liked. But this is called Brave New Year. And so there's animals, lions there, and a heart. Brave New Year. It says courage and charity, and it has Anno 2010. So you just change the year on there. But yeah, Brave New World, Brave New Year. Excuse me. And then this is another one. This one is by Jeanette Douglas. I think this is a freebie also, if I remember correctly. But she just finished this. I think she finished it on a board, just like frayed the edges and all that. It says "Believe" on there, and there's some white in there, but it's a little bit lighter colored fabric, so the snowflakes or the white doesn't show up as well. But yeah, that's another. It's a Jeanette Douglas design. That's very simple, very cute. This was by Lindy Stitches. This was, I think, exclusive for the Jingle Ball, I believe. It was new for the Jingle Ball anyway. Called Tree Guardians. So there's, I think there's 4, yeah. 4 little round designs like ornaments, but they're cats. They're like this one here, the black cat. This is a white, I guess, white gray cat. I don't know what. But anyway, so they're all like lounging in the round shape of the ornaments, and so I think you can put them on like So she tucked each cat along whatever edge they looked best resting. Um, so, um, so like I think she laced around the edge and then like put fabric on the other on the back side or whatever. So um, anyway, so there's the tree ornaments, tree guardians, excuse me, ornaments. And then she also had this this design. Um, I think this is also, yeah, Lindy stitches. Um, this is also a little ornament design called Capybara Christmas. Little capybaras there. A little present. One has a present, one has a stocking. There's a little Christmas tree. Yeah, this is also Lindy stitches. And this is just like 64 by 46. The stitches on here. And then she's got um, she's got a YouTube tutorial on that for, you know, to make it into an ornament. And then this one, I know you've got this. She showed it last week, and I downloaded it I think before she told me about it. This is a Snow Angel by Primrose Cottage. Yeah, it's a little snow globe shape. I don't know if you can see it on the computer, but there's a little, you know, a globe, snow globe shape around the snowman and some snowflakes. That, and then these two designs are from Stacy Nash, and um, I think this one was I want to say was one of the one of the freebies that but this is called House of Gingerbread Pocket. So I think she finished it as a little pocket thing, but you could easily just stitch this like as an ornament, I think, or just a stand up or whatever. But it's this little gingerbread. It's all done like in white, like you would do like frosting on a piece of gingerbread. It's very cute. And I think it's yeah, 69 wide by 106 high. Um, and so, like I said, I think you could finish it. She finished it as a little hanging pocket. It can be stuffed as a pin keep or made into a sewing book or whatever. So, yeah. So that's very cute. That's a Stacy Nash design. And then part of Stacy Nash's Animal Crackers. Get all the pages here separate. Yeah. And I think, I don't know if this one came out before. Let me see if I can. I kind of don't think so. I think this is new. Let's see the copyright year. I think it's new for the Jingle Ball. I don't know. But it's called Sugar. And it's a little skunk wearing a sweater. And it's it's got a little pocket on the back you can stitch. With a little skunk wearing a sweater. So, yeah, I'll make it. It's big, you know. It's a, what is it? It's about like 5 inches wide by 8 inches high on 32 count. I think 32 count. It's 102 wide by 142 high. The pocket is smaller, of course, but I think this was, I want to say this was stitched on 36 count, yeah. So If I might do it on 32 count. I don't know if I'll do it on 36. I don't know. Um, but yeah. So I think I have some of the sugar the animal crackers started, but I think mine were all started on 28. I mean, yeah, 28 count, so they're going to be pretty huge. And this then is by Beth Twist. Um, get all the pages right here of Heartstring Samplery, and it's called Moongazer. Um, yeah, and it's a little bunny staring at the moon. So I can turn it right here. So there's a bunny staring at a big moon, and he's just in the forest. So anyway, I really like it. It's very cute. So yeah, she did this on blue fabric. Um, it's lots of white, I think. See if it says here what size. 100 wide by 121 high. So it's not tiny, but it's not gigantic. Yeah. And then this is a Beth Twist free chart from 2018. Um, this one is Christmas Promise as a quote from Christmas Carol, right? I will honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the year. Yeah, that's a Ebenezer Scrooge quote in Christmas Carol. Yeah. So I think that rounds out my Jingle Ball purchases. Um, Again, I'm a victim of Sable, right? Stash acquired beyond life expectancy because I already have in storage. I have a bazillion patterns. I don't even have no. I want to say at this point it's probably in the hundreds, but all the ones that I that I have not started and that are or that are in progress that are whips because I think I have like I was counting. I have like 65 whips or something like that, and that's not even counting the ones I have not started yet. So yeah, I definitely have a problem. But that's the way things go. The other was that all I wanted to talk about? I think that's all I have to talk about. Um, so like I said, I'm hoping to finish my other goals, my other WIPGO goals of this month, and start. I don't know. I still have not um, worked up my WIPGO board for next year. Um, with half my things in storage, I don't know what I'm gonna work on. Um, the whips I have here, I probably have enough to do a WIPGO board, especially with all the because I did new starts, 25 new starts, 25 and 25, right? I did at least 25 new starts um, because I did all a new I will have done by the end of December. I will have done a new start for each square of my WIPGO board which is 25 starts. So I will have done 25 starts plus probably a couple of others. Because I did new starts um, and finishes for what do you call it? Carthage camp this summer. Those the three pieces that I started for cross stitch camp are not on this board. So I will have done by the end of the year at least 28 new starts. So, but it was 25 by 25, 25 kind of unofficially, I guess. But so like I said, I plan to finish everything on this chart. So yeah. So next year, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Uh, yeah, it just depends on if I can work my way to getting my all my whips out of the storage unit. It's kind of, it's like one of those puzzles that you used to get in the Cracker Jack or whatever. You have to move this to move that to move this to move that. Yeah, so that's kind of how our storage unit is. The things that are in the front, outside of the storage unit that you can get to, you have to move a lot of stuff to get to the cross stitch stuff. It's kind of in the middle or the back of of one of the storage unit. We actually have two storage units because one has a lot of furniture and a lot of other big things, and I don't know. There's just a lot of stuff in there. Um, so yeah, anyway. So I have not done my board for next year, but I got to do it quickly because 2026 is coming up pretty soon. Um, so I don't know. I have to cogitate about it a little bit. Anyway, so um, I will see you then next week. I think. I don't think I have any. What is next week? Hold on one second. Um, Next week is like what, the 26th or 27th or something like that. Let me look at my calendar real quick. Next week is the 20th. Okay, so that's before everybody comes from out of town. Um, and the 27th is the only date that I don't know what we're going to be doing because we will might still have family in town or whatever. I'm not sure. Um, so I don't know what was going on the 27th, but for sure next week I'll be back. Um, and then you know and then after the 27th, the next Saturday will be the new year. So I will have to make my WIPGO plans at least, like I said, in this couple weeks. So anyway, I will see you next time. And I think, was there anything else? Oh, well, I just wanted to hit on, it was a great time with the Jingle Ball. It was a lot of fun. And Stephanie Webb, of Lindy Stitches, who does these virtual events, she did publish the dates for next year for the virtual event she's planning. She's planning Spring Mingle, which will be I think in May. Um, Midsummer Stitch, which is sometime in the summer. I forget what the dates are exactly. Midsummer Stitch, Harvest Moon Hangout, which will be in the fall, and the Jingle Ball, which will be in December. So yeah, so if like I said, I love the virtual events because you can meet people from all over the world. It's inexpensive to attend. You don't have to take the class if you don't want to. So to attend the Jingle Ball is just like this. I mean, this year all the events were like $15 or something like that. So you don't have to pay for a hotel room. You don't have to pay for food. You don't have to. You don't even have to dress up. You can wear your pajamas all day if you want. So, but you just hang out and talk to people. You can take a class if you want to or not. You can go to the shopping hall, buy things, or you could just download all the freebie designs, whatever. Um, just there, it's just a lot of fun. So so I highly recommend it. So you can go to I think it's just the jingleball.net. And all of those new dates are in there. And if not there, then on Stephanie Webb's website, the Lindy Stitches website. Um, and I'll try that should still be a link in my description box. Um, so like I said, you can go there and check it out for next year if you want to make some plans and look at your calendar and see what you can go to or whatever. So anyway, um, so we're gonna go make our Three Sisters video. We're going to Naomi's house today, and so we're gonna be going to do that soon. Anyway, so that is all I have until next Saturday, and hopefully, um, I'll be on track to finish my finish more of my December WIPGO projects as of next week, the 20th. I'll still have a week to go. But anyway, so that's where I am now, and the Jingle Ball was lots of fun, and um, yeah. So I will see you all next week, and until then, thanks for watching. Thanks. Bye bye.